So, as it is a small group, I will also invite some of you to go off mute and also share with us what are your learnings from this field. And I'm sure that all of us who are on call, they are interested in this topic of Zen and NLP, and are curious about this topic of ZENLP. So, yeah, so I would request some of you to go off mute and also, share with the larger group what they have got as an experience and learning. So, starting very quickly, and while others are joining, I think we can take this time as a quick, short round of introduction. We have Radit on call. Radit, if you can hear us and you want to go off mute and share with others, what is your inclination on learning and self mastery and such topics? Would you like to go first, Radit?
Yeah, hi, Anupam. So, I guess this is my first session. I haven't been to such sessions before, so that's why I have joined this session so that I can have some more deep learning about this whole NLP and Zen. So basically, I can learn, have some more understanding to this in this session.
Okay. Thank you, Radit. Thank you for that short introduction. We also have our friend Shrikesh on call. Shrikesh, would you like to share your introduction, a quick introduction, and what is your learning so far on the topic of self-mastery, and what is your expectation?
Sure, thank you, Anupam. So my name is Srikesh and I'm part of EVA. I lead a team of writers and proofreaders. I was introduced to NLP and mindfulness mainly by Anupam, and after it was introduced to me, I got to attend a few sessions and also to read a few books. I always believe that it's conquering oneself is the most important and also the most difficult thing to conquer. So and some of the interactions that I've had with Anupam has really helped me be more mindful and understand NLP more, and also he has also helped me a lot with my leadership related challenges that I face sometimes. So in this session, I'm basically looking to understand more about Zen and NLP and mindfulness, and make that bigger and bigger part of my daily life.
Sure, perfect. Thank you for your introduction and setting the intention. Thank you, Shikesh. We'll take few more. I can also see somebody joined from the phone, Moto G 5S Plus. So would you like to go off mute and introduce yourself to the group? Would like to take that opportunity? Okay, so while we are waiting for our friend Moto G to unmute, I'll also request Reyansh. Reyansh, you are on call with us. Would you like to quickly give a small introduction and what is your intention of joining this session?
Hi, sir. Hi, sir. My name is Raghuraj Singh. Actually, the ID is made by my kids. He attend classes. Actually,
okay.
My name is Raghuraj Singh, and I work for Sunlight Financial Gurgaon.
Okay.
And I'm just new for this type of learning sessions. So actually, one of my friend Ajit referred me. This is really this will be a really good session. I searched in Google for a quick reference for NLP, but I'm not very much familiar with this. But I'm sure this will be very helpful in part of learnings and the way we learn for new things.
Sure.
So this will be a good session.
Thank you, Raghurajji, and definitely we'll be talking about the topics of NLP and Zen, and how this entire thought of ZENLP has emerged and how it can help you. So definitely it's a session meant for that only. And we also have Devishri from Kerala who has joined us. Devishri, would you like to give a short introduction?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Hello, everyone. I am Devishri. I am a content writer by profession. Currently, I'm associated with an IT consulting company here in Cochin. I would say I'm also a beginner in NLP. I have learned a bit about it. I do look forward for having a good session and hope it will help me in my personal as well as professional life. So that's it. Thanks, Anupam.
Thank you. So thank you all for your time and your quick, lovely introduction. And definitely the intention today that we are setting up for this session on ZENLP, which is a spirit of Zen and NLP, is to understand and really imbibe the essence of these learnings. And I'm sure that by the end of this workshop, which is spread across 2 Sundays, at least my promise is that you will be getting the fundamentals of these two areas of Zen and NLP and how they can help you in your life. And we have made it in a very scientifically designed way where we are sharing with you piece by piece. The best thing that we can do is to give you a taste or a feeler of what a field of ZenLP talks about and the fundamentals are, and this is our intention. And simple 2 hour learning may not help you to get in-depth knowledge, but yes, our intention is to orient you in this field so that you can make an action plan and you can work on your success. And this is exactly the intention with which we started Self-Mastery Zone as a community. So the next 50 minutes that we are going to spend together is not going to be just one-sided conversation, but at times I will ask you to use the chat box, type your responses, or also come off mute and share with the larger group that what are your thoughts. So this is how we'll utilize this time. In the 2 sessions that I have planned, there will be 3 experiences that you will get, and these 3 experiences are primarily the mindfulness experiences that we have crafted, so that this intention of being mindful can be passed as a learning from these 2 sessions. So our intention is that you take the best out of whatever learnings that we have compiled as a team on Self-Mastery Zone, and I look forward to all of you as learners, as fellow learners, I would say, and fellow community members who are definitely going to gain a lot from this session. So let's get started. I'll start with a story, and the story is of a person who's a monk. And like you can see on the picture, this is a picture of a place which is like a hilly area, and in this hilly area there is a small village, and this monk used to live in one of the temples of this village. One fine day he looked at the tallest mountain and he thought that what if I go to top of that mountain, because my teacher has told me that on top of that mountain there is a pond, and in that pond there is a lotus, a special species of lotus that will grow only in 50 years. So I've heard it from my teacher, it's a beautiful flower, and I will seek to go to that top of the mountain, and in my journey I'll find that lotus. So next morning he started early and he started walking towards the top of the mountain. As he reached the foothill of the mountain, he saw 2-3 people who were just coming down from the jungles of that mountain. And he said that, can you give me the way so that I can reach the top, because I have heard that there is this particular lotus which grows, and it grows once in 50 to 100 years, and it's a beautiful flower, and I seek to go there. So these 2 people, they said, all right, you can go this way, but we are not sure that if that's the correct way, but yeah, you can try, and you can walk, but it will be a difficult journey. Now this person is full of energy, he is full of excitement. He said, all right, I can find my way. What if these fellow travelers are not knowing? So he continues his journey. As he continues his journey, somewhere in the middle of that path, he saw that there is a very nice restaurant, and somebody is operating this restaurant in the middle of that jungle and still serving food, serving tea to the travelers. And there is some really nice fragrance of food and an aroma of new dishes which is coming out. So this fellow, he gets really excited and he goes there and he says that I want to have some tea, if you can serve some tea to me, and I want to go to the top of the mountain. Now this is where the tea seller there in that restaurant, he gives him some food, some tea, some snacks, and this guy really likes those snacks. And the tea seller said that, you know what, you will take at least a week to reach on the top, so why don't you just settle here? Why don't you enjoy the tea a little bit more? And what is the need of going to that top of the mountain? I'm sure that we can serve you great food here. And monk, I think we will also learn a little bit about you in this conversation. So this monk thought for a while and he said, all right, I have been walking for 4 or 5 hours, my legs are hurting, my feet are paining. What is the reason why I should continue this journey? I think there will be nothing so special about that. And that monk settled on that tea shop and he didn't go and he didn't pursue his journey further. Friends, this story is not only talking about a person's goal to reach top of the mountain or to find a certain truth that he wants to see from his own eyes, but this also talks about the search that we as individual or we as leaders have time to time. And a lot of time, sometimes we leave these searches right in the middle. This workshop is all about finding that what you can do so that you continue your journey, you continue to make that advancement, you continue to practice, and you reach the top of the mountain in your life. Your goals will be different, your achievements will be different, your ambition and experience will be different, but we are here to serve you. We are here to share with you these things that have helped a lot of leaders mindfully reach the top of the mountain and mindfully find that point. So who are we? Let me introduce you to our team. Our team has 3 members. We have Mr. Srinjoy Bal. Srinjoy is a dynamic PR consultant. He's a journalism student. He's a content writer. And he also makes movies about things that people care about in society. Yeah. So Srinjoy is a really bright person who's there in our team, and he takes care of our media, journalism. He has also helped us make our short movie that we have on our YouTube channel. So that is Srinjoy. We also have Aarti. Aarti is a creative person. She's a cooking enthusiast. She's a cook, a fabulous cook. She also is a chocolate artist, and she has 11 plus years of experience as a banker. And she's really into these creative things, gifting ideas, craft. So Aarti, my wife, is also part of the team, and she always guides us with the creative ideas. And finally, your facilitator for the day, Anupam Rawat. I'm a friend and a coach. I'm a learning and development professional with some experience, some insights that I also thought of compiling together in a book called The 7-Course Leadership Menu. And my interest is in the field of behavioral change, mindfulness, and self-mastery. And this is the reason why I have put together this blog, Self-Mastery Zone. And if you go to that blog, you will find a lot of articles that I have written about mindfulness, and there are a few videos that we are making on inspiring stories. And I would say that it's more or less a community of like-minded learners where our intention is to learn from each other and to grow as a team. So this is all about us. So what is this self-mastery zone, and why? I'll briefly talk about this. So our vision is to make sure that we give you the resources in the field of psychology, the resources in the field of NLP or ZEN as a practice, because what we have found is that in today's world where we see a lot of changes, we see a lot of ambiguity around us, a lot of pressure in the work situation, it is time that we must connect to our roots. It is the time that we must connect to the core of our philosophy, the core of the age-old wisdom, and this is where we are committed to help the community of learners and to create more coaches so that you in turn are helping somebody and creating more leaders and more coaches. That's how we feel that we will be serving our community and the society. So, coming straight to the topic, what is it? What is this lotus that you all have come here seeking? What is this ZENLP that we are talking about? So, ZENLP as an idea or as a technique, it emerged 5 years back in my mind. And to put it together, I think ZENLP for me is amalgamation of Zen and NLP. Why Zen before NLP? So I would say that NLP on one hand gives us a lot of technology of success, a lot of these insights in the human mind and the human behavior. But then first thing we have to create is we have to create a strong foundation for us. We have to create a character. We have to build ourselves, and that will happen when we are mindfully growing ourselves as a leader. So what are some of the objectives that Zen part of ZenLP is meeting? It is helping us be more mindful and present in life. Zen is essentially the spirit of inquiry and experimentation that we see, and it's the the grounding that it brings to the entire ZenLP framework. And the more or less, it is the inspiration to be humble and lead mindfully. Friends, in today's world, when people are in corporate and they are in the rat race, there are people who forget the basic principles, and then you can go to any training, you can go to any workshop or any strategy meet, but nothing changes. What essentially we have to remember is the change starts from top down, or the change starts from inside out. When our leaders are leading more mindfully, teams will definitely be more effective and productive, and they will give their 100%, provided people who are at the top, they understand the essence as the humble and more mindful leadership. And finally, Zen is also about living our life fully and more meaningfully. By this I mean that whether you are a content writer, whether you are working as a teacher, whether you are a person who's working in the IT sector, wherever you are, we can always do a little bit more better if we are living more meaningfully, if we're living more fully, if we're present in every moment. So the intention is that the Zen part takes care of these things. And in the 2 modules that we have planned, today we are going to dive a little bit deeper on this Zen aspect. In the next session, which is the next Sunday, we are going to talk about neuro-linguistic programming in detail. And here we'll talk about NLP as a technology of success. We will talk about how we can test and model some of the best behavioral styles that we see around us. So we will be shortly sharing with you some techniques of NLP that will help you model the success mantras of these leaders that you see around you. The ambition is to excel with the ZenLP practices, and this is where you find that your goal, your ambition will be strengthened if you take the NLP perspective. And NLP is all about mastering the mind and the body, and there will be certain examples I will share with you, or certain exercises where we'll see that how this neuro-linguistic programming has been developed beautifully to help us understand that it is our thoughts that affect our actions, and these actions become our behavior. And finally, the ultimate goal, as you will read some of the NLP books or watch some NLP videos, is that NLP is there to increase the charisma and the confidence. So again, I want to reiterate that why Zen before NLP? Because if that grounding is not there, that charisma and confidence, you'll find so many people, so many leaders who are charismatic, who are confident, but if they don't have the values correct, they don't have the strength of the grounding with them, then they will not be doing a great job. They will not that success will not last. So the first and the foremost thing that we want you to focus on is the Zen aspect, and this is where we are going to focus in the next 30 to 40 minutes to see that how Zen beautifully has articulated these learnings. And you see, these learnings may be something very simple, but when you understand them and when you change your mental frame with that learning, definitely the kind of actions you will take will be more grounded, more mindful, and in the end, these actions will give you the results, which are not just a quick win or a shortcut, but it will be something that will stay with you for the long time. So please understand that in this work, what we are going to do is we are going to just today help you explore that how in Zen practices, certain Zen practices, they have help you understand that our mind is the mirror from which we are looking at the world, or is the glass. And the cleaner that glass will be, the brighter that light will shine. So it is our endeavor here today to see that we are not here to seek enlightenment as a practice in the Zen. We are not here to reach that nirvana stage, but we are here to understand that even something as simple as a daily work done with 100% love, 100% care becomes a meditation in moving, and it becomes a moving meditation. And this is where the enlightenment, when somebody gets truly enlightened, at the end of that enlightenment there is no trace of enlightenment. So you'll be finding a lot of people living simply in this world, and still they will make you think that it's not the enlightenment you should seek, but it's the complete human experience that we should seek as a person, to live more fully, more mindfully, and serve others. So one of my really good friends and coaches, his name is Manish. He is a practitioner of a model called social presencing theater that has come from MIT, and they also have come up with something called as TheoryU. And this is where they say that to truly align ourselves as a human being uh, who is fully present, the three alignments have to happen, and this is where I call them enlightenment. So, what are the three alignments? The three alignments are an open mind, an open heart, and an open will. So, this picture clearly reminds me of that model, that once our minds are open and we are not judging, or we are not kind of overthinking anything, we will be able to gain the right information and make the right decisions. So, it's about an open mind. When the hearts are open, then you will find leaders who are taking not only decisions which are good for the business, but also for the people that they lead. And when the will is open, will is also called the hand, and when the hand is there aligned with the intention, so you see the intention and action gets aligned. And when the open heart, open mind, and open will is there, then definitely you as a person can be living more mindfully. So almost you have seen that all these things are there, and I'm not sharing something new, but then what I'm also uh, doing in this is that my job is here as a coach, as a friend, to help you realize that it's not the knowledge that we are talking about, but it's the application of knowledge that we want you to feel, that we want you to see. And when some application happens, that is where that aha moment comes, and that aha moment becomes the life. So that's the transformation I was talking about. And this enlightenment is not something that we are saying you can only seek by maybe doing a spiritual practice for next 20 years. Maybe that is also a path that you can explore, but what we are saying is that this enlightenment is there in every moment, provided we know provided we know that what is it that is stopping us from achieving this potential. So to experience that, we are going to do certain tests. So on the next slide you are going to see that how our brains are wired. So next few slides we are going to show you that how certain uh, patterns of our brain are wired in a way so that we take very uh, quick decisions. And this is where you will see that uh, what is a mindful way and what is a quick way of doing things, because in today's world there is a lot of multitasking which is already going on, and a lot of quick decisions that we make. So I want to ask all of you to quickly type on the chat box what you see on the next slide. This next slide is a picture, and you need to tell me that what is the first thing that you see in that picture? Okay, so I hope all of you are paying attention, and I'm going to switch on to the next slide. Alright, so here is our test, and you need to quickly write on the chat box that what is it that you can see in this picture. So the picture has emerged. It's a sketch of something or somebody. So while you are typing, I can ask some of you to go off mute and also share what do you see in the picture. Okay, somebody has already started to type. Devishri says a face, correct. So it's a face. So whose face do you see here, Devishri? Is it a young woman or an old woman?
It's an old woman's face.
Old woman's face. Shrikesh says, I see the profile of an astronaut or a pyramid. Okay. Okay. We have somebody else who is also typing. Radhit says, young person. Now, see, here is the difference. People on the call, we feel that there is a picture for sure, but then we are not agreeing on the thing that whether it is a old woman or somebody is saying it's a young face. Somebody is saying it looks like an astronaut. Sorry, Shrikesh, you are saying something?
No, it wasn't me, Anupam.
Oh, okay. So it looks like a face, but we cannot make out whose face is that. Well, this is a classic experiment which was done in psychology in one of the universities, where half of the people were shown pictures slightly biased towards a young girl's side, and half of the people they were shown pictures slightly towards the old lady's side. And when both the groups they were brought together, they both started arguing that they are correct. Well, the next one is another classic photograph that you find, and it's a typical illusion. What do you see on this picture? Which creature is this?
A rabbit.
Devishri says it's a rabbit. Radhit, what do you see here? Is it a rabbit or some other creature you think? Yeah, I can see some chat messages here. Okay, let me see. Radhit says beak of a bird. Shrike says duck and rabbit both. So this is a typical, it's a classical illusion. It's the picture has both. You know, if you look from the left side, the ear of the rabbit will become beak. If you look from the right side, it looks like a rabbit. So you see how the way how we are seeing from different frames, and whatever we see is becoming our reality. All right, so let's take it a little bit further. You know, I want to drill it down a little bit further to see that how else these frames of mind can influence us. So a quick question, and you have to answer very quickly. So what do you put in a toast? Very quickly, you can just write on the chat box. What do you put in a toast? What do you put in a toaster? What do you put in a toaster? Okay. though I tried to seed this by saying toast, but then a lot of people are saying slices of bread. Okay, you all are right. Anybody who gets all these questions right, I'm going to take your name, and I'm going to take your address at the end of this workshop, and I'm going to share with you my copy of my book. Okay, and that will be the gift to the person who gets all these questions right. Okay, question 2. Before Mount Everest was discovered, what was the highest mountain in the world? before the Mount Everest was discovered? Which was the highest mountain? Okay, somebody is again. Yes, Shrikesh has got the answer. It was Mount Everest. Thank you so much. Now read the words: silk, 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 silk. What do cows drink? Radit, you can come off mute. What do cows drink?
Milk.
Milk. Okay. Radit says cows drink milk. Yeah, that was simple. Somebody has given an answer. Shrikesh says water. The correct answer is water. Next question. If a red house is made with red bricks, a blue house is made with blue bricks, pink house is made with pink bricks, a black house is made with black bricks, what is green house made with? Ajit, would you like to answer that one? Devishri says green bricks. Okay. Ajit also says green bricks. And Shrikesh gets the right answer. The greenhouse is actually made of glass. Okay, it's the name of that which we call greenhouse. Now this one is really interesting, and you can do it immediately on with a little bit of a mental maths. You take 1000, add 40 to it. Now you add another 1000, add 30 to it, add another 1000, add 20 to it, add another 1000, add 10 to it. What do you think will be the total? So this is a mental maths question. You have to quickly add this in your mind. I think some people are really fast with the way how they are doing
5,000.
Devishri says 5,000. Thank you, Devishri. Okay. Rajit says 4,800. Very good, Rajit. 4,800. Friends, this is so interesting, and you can do this test with anyone. I will send you these questions after the call, and you will see that so many questions you got right and so many questions you got wrong. So we have still not got the correct answer for this one. The mental maths question people have not got right. Shrikesh again gets the answer correct. It's 4,100. And when this question was shown to me for the very first time, I was so shocked that it's not 5,000, because that time I was really so proud of my calculation skills, and the answer exactly is 4,100. And you can do it on a calculator. The answer will come as 4,100. And finally, this is my favorite question. Which is correct to say? The yolk of the egg is white, or the yolk of the egg are white? Which is correct? First or the second? The yolk of the egg is white, or the yolk of the egg are white? Very quickly, people who are on call, if you can hear, you can just go off mute and say as well. Shobha, I think you have joined us now. Okay, yes. Shobha is saying the second statement is no, yolk of the egg is white. First statement. Okay, thank you, Shobha. Thank you. Is Shrikesh, I'm waiting for your answer. Okay, we are still thinking. So Devishri this time has got the Devishri, and okay, wonderful. So the correct answer, and I think Shrikesh, you have got rather all of the answers correct on this one. So I think Shrikesh is the winner for this round of the brain test, or the brain gyms, as I call these questions. So congratulations, Shrikesh. And yes, friends, the answer is that the yolk of the egg is not white, it is yellow. The way how both sentences are framed, they both are made in a way so that you take a choice between bad and worse, or they are set in a way so that you make that error of judgment. So the question that I'm asking here is that why did this happen? We saw the first test with the pictures, the second test with these questions. Why did this happen? Would anybody, or rather I would invite the winner of this particular contest, Shrikesh, to share, why do you think, Shrikesh, that most of us guessed the incorrect answers, and what were you doing that helped you make the right choices?
I am not sure how to put it, but maybe we're just being misled by the question, and we're rushing to conclusion instead of maybe taking a moment and thinking about what the answer is. And also, like you said, it could be the frame of mind. When you say the egg of the yolk is white and the yolk of the egg is the yolk of the egg is white versus are white. We are inclined to think based on a frame of mind that it is the is versus the are that we are asking here. So I think it is the frame of mind that we are applying without being mindful of the question and what other possibilities lie. That's the best way I know to put it.
Yeah. And really interesting, the first few sentences with which you have started is that you're not sure that what it is, but then this is what it seems to you. And I think, being a really mindful person of the way how you are and how thoughtful you are, I think you have framed it in the right way, that most of the times we don't know what we don't know. And this particularly is what we call as the default mode network of our brain. Friends, while we are growing up, our brains get wired in a way that we don't think and we don't ponder on every decision that we take. So one part of our brain, the job is to make decision, and the other part of the brain is there to make quick decisions. And this default mode network sometimes quickly make judgments, jumps to conclusion, jumps to ideas. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It is something that helps you to just reach a place and grab hold of the doorknob and open the door without thinking what kind of door it is, what is this handle, should I push it or should I pull it, and all these random calculations which are not needed. It helps you to make the right decision in a quick way. But then what we are saying is that most of the time in the decisions which really require your mindful presence, this default mode network will not work. Yeah. So a lot of times our perceptions, our beliefs, our unconscious ideas can help us make these snap judgments and these snap decisions which may turn wrong in the long run. So this is important for us to take a look inside and find out that what are the things that can help us take the mindful decision. And this is where I introduce you the first part of the story, which is Zen. In the entire Zen practices throughout ages, they talk about these three themes, three venoms, three themes, and three truths. What are the three venoms? Ignorance, attachment, and aversion. In our story, if you remember, when the monk was traveling on his journey to top of the hill, he first came across people who said that they are not aware of the way and they misguided him. So this is the ignorance which, as per the Zen philosophy, they consider as the first venom. The second is the attachment, where this is the restaurant that he found, the tea shop that he found, where they were serving some delicacies, some great food, and they asked him to sit down there, and he was so attached to the tea, to the snacks, that he forgot about his goal and his vision. And last but not the least is the aversion. Aversion is sometimes whatever you are doing will require a little bit of a work from your side, will require a little bit of an effort, but then people just try to run away from that. So that aversion is the third venom or the third part of the story which helps us understand our own ignorance. And you see this aversion was where the monk was saying that, all right, let me just take care of the snacks here, let me just help myself with some more snacks, and I don't want the pain of the journey. So he was running away from that pain. So these three venoms, they definitely, these three poisons, as they call in the philosophy, the Buddhist philosophy, are the showstoppers, and they stop anybody from achieving anything. Whereas slowly and gradually we'll move to what is it that Zen talks about. There are three things that Zen is talking about. Any Zen practice is talking about building your awareness. They are talking about being non-judgmental, taking that pause for a new perspective. And finally, all Zen practices, they have a constant theme of being in the present moment. Whenever you are going in the past, you're thinking and overthinking about future, you are missing the present moment. So these are the three themes which are getting built in any Zen practice. Last but not the least, the third pillar is all about seeking the three truths. And the three truths are the three P's that we talk about. First is the posture, second is patience, and third is practice. Posture, why posture is there? Because where attention goes, their energy flows, and where energy flows, their attention goes. If you find a friend of yours and his posture is all slouched and he's looking at the ground, and so there is a saying that if you are looking down, then you are feeling down, because that entire posture is not correct. So a lot of these mindfulness practices, they correct the posture of the person, they correct the way how the person is breathing. In martial arts, me and my friend Radit, we have been involved in Kalaripayat here in Delhi, and we have learned from one of the masters here. And the first thing that they make you practice, and people from our friends from Kerala will also understand, is the correct posture that they will align you. Why? Because if your posture is aligned, your breathing is correct, then a lot of that mind clutter goes away and you are able to think clearly. Second is patience. The second truth about patience is about being patient. We say in Zen that the sowing season and the reaping season cannot be the same. So if today you are sowing in an action, next year you will reap a habit. You sow in a habit, next year you reap a character. And if you sow in a character, you will eventually reap a lifetime of success. So we are saying is that with patience, even grass will become milk. And last but not the least, practice. It is a constant practice in Zen to pay attention to your breath, pay attention to the way how your posture is, and returning to breath is the practice that people do. So our fundamentals here are very clear. We understand that the first thing that Buddha said in the entire story of his life is that ahipasiko. Ahipasiko means that you should not come to me that I am the Buddha and I will help you, but it's about go and see for yourself. So it is learning by experimenting, and when you experiment like a beginner. That's the beginner's mind. Yeah, and you understand the patterns of behavior, your own patterns of behaviors, before you study others' patterns of behavior. That is the reason why Zen comes first, NLP comes second. You increase your awareness, you increase your presence, and you serve with kindness. Friends, as leaders, when you develop yourself, ultimately you will be like a tree that has got a lot of fruits. And when the tree gets a lot of fruits, it will not hold those fruits high in the air, but it will bring those fruits closer to the ground and it will share it with others. So serving with kindness. And as Shinryo Suzuki said that in the beginner's mind there are a lot of possibilities, and in the expert's mind there are few. So anytime you feel that you have become an expert on something, you pick up something and you become a beginner. Now that is something that will help you grow in life. Yeah. So those are the fundamentals of Zen, and with those fundamentals, this is the central model. I have shared you an email, and this email will have link to my blog, and this is where I could find that in ZENLP, the Zen, which is which comes out pretty strong as a key for any leader who's successful, are these 5 things that they are able to realize. And let me help you connect it with the Zen. beginner's mindset is all about understanding that you can start as a beginner. That is what the Zen practice is all about. Now, interconnectedness in the Zen practice, we not only see ourselves as an individual, but we see ourselves as human being in an ecosystem. These days when human beings are inside, you can see a lot of nature which is blooming. Why? Because it is all interconnected. We talk about these states of flow. The state of flow is all about finding these states of your mind when you are performing at your peak, and at that point in time when you are in a state of flow, and you might have experienced this already when you are doing your hobby or doing something that you really like, you get completely absorbed into it, and the efficiency increases, your productivity increases, and the enjoyment increases. Our friend who is on call with us, Shobha, she is an artist and she's a musician. So I have seen a couple of her videos on her Instagram where she has taken a harmonium and or a tabla and she's playing it. And when she's playing a piece of music, she completely gets absorbed. Now that is a state of flow is all about. I, as a system, is also helping us understand that the base of all Zen practice is that if you yourself gets changed, then you can change the entire world. Now, if you are cleaning the mirror, the image will be clearer. So it's not that you are changing the system first, but you are changing I as a system first. And finally, our true move. Our true move is when our head, heart, and mind all is aligned. So when we have an open mind, when we have an open heart, and when we have an open will, this is where whatever we do out of that will be a true move. So some of the 5 techniques that we are going to explore in this series will be breathing as a key, attention with intention, keeping a beginner's mindset. Just like the test that we did today, we will be short-circuiting the patterns of memory so that we look for new possibilities, and we will connect with the universe. You see, this universe is all about the limitless possibilities that we see for ourselves and for our friends and our family. And this is where the 5 topics that we have chosen, or the 5 techniques that we have chosen, when we practice them, we will be better aligned as a person who is more grounded, as a person who is more thoughtful, and who's not taking a default mode network kind of a judgment or a snap judgment, but who's taking that mindful pause for perspective. So when I say breathing as a key, it is all about aligning your posture, creating a space, and focusing on the breath. When I say attention and intention, it is all about, from the Zen frame, it is all about kindness, empathy, and compassion. When I say beginner's mindset, it's about seeking possibilities as a beginner and not getting trapped in the mindset of an expert. And when I say connecting with the universe, it's about systems thinking, and short-circuiting the memory is all about breaking those patterns that stop us from reaching this limitless potential. So just to give you an awareness about how simple these 5 things can be, this is not something that we need to remember, but all you can remember now is the end goal that you see, the lotus that you see on top of the mountain. You can forget about the path. Reaching your destination, you can have a lot of paths, lot of ways that can lead you. All you need to remember is that you have to clearly define your way. You have to clearly find that this is how consistently I'll move towards my goal. And you need not stop on that restaurant or those attachments. Sometimes you have to detach yourself with these things that take your time away from your goals, like something like an indulgence. And finally, the aversion is about understanding that you don't escape a pain, or you don't escape a difficult route for the sake of a easier route, but you make sure that you do that due diligence, and you make sure that you are paying attention to your thoughts, your ideas, your mindful decisions, clearing your head, making the right decisions, and then making sure that you are pursuing your goal of being a better person. So just to give you an experience of that, in the last 5 minutes of this call, 5 minutes or so, we will take a journey inside, and we will do a 3 minutes of mindfulness meditation. It is kind of a guided meditation, and we are not chanting anything or anything, but it's just like focusing your attention on the breath. So what I am going to do now is I am going to play the sound of a bell, and when you hear the sound of that bell, wherever you are sitting, make yourself comfortable, okay? And you can take a deep breath. You can close your eyes. If you don't want to close your eyes, you can lower down your gaze, and for the next 3 minutes just relax and focus on your breath. This is what we are going to do, and at the end of the 3 minutes I will play the sound of the bell again. This is where we open up our eyes and we come back to the present moment. Yeah, so if you guys are ready, we can do a short 3 minutes mindfulness breathing exercise, and then let's see that what is the kind of clarity of our attention and intention that this small meditation can give us. So wherever you are, just relax, find a comfortable spot, and you can just put your feet on the ground, or if you're sitting there, you can just sit upright, check your posture. So as this is the sound of the first bell, make a definite change in your posture, so it embodies a sense of being awake. Perhaps you can close your eyes, or if possible, you can just lower down your gaze. And we are just going to guide you through the 3 simple steps of mindfully observing the breath. 1. Checking in with the body and mind. What is going on for you right now? What are the feelings here? Are there any sensations in the body? Not trying to change anything, but opening up to what is already here. Taking a deep breath, relaxing, and just focus on your breath. Two, bringing your attention to the breathing, narrowing the spotlight of attention to sensations of the breath in the abdomen. Tuning into the changing physical sensations of the breath for its full duration as in-breath and the out-breath for its full duration. And if the mind wanders, simply acknowledge where it went and gently escort it back to the breath. And now step 3, gently expanding the focus of your awareness around the breath to take in the whole body, as if the whole body were breathing now. Being aware of your posture, your facial expression, sensations of the surface of the skin, and from right inside the body. And holding in the sensations in the body right now, not judging them and not trying to ease them. Just let it be. So continue to focus on the breathing and bring your awareness to this mindful moment. As you're fully present in this moment, I want you to take the learnings from this mindful moment as we bring back ourselves with the sound of the second bell. So, with the sound of the second bell coming to the body, coming to the home, coming back to this present moment, feeling refreshed, relaxed, and mindfully present. All right, friends. So, congratulations. You have done your mindfulness meditation of 3 minutes. And frankly speaking, as I was doing this meditation with you, it did not feel like that the 3 minutes just passed by so in a refreshing and relaxed way. So I would invite some of you to share how their experience was before we close this session. So let's see who all are there. Would any one of you would like to go first and share your experience? Radit, would you like to go first?
Yeah, no problem. So overall, it was a you can say it was a nice experience because I could learn some different approaches towards everything, like the thinking, the thought, and what the way we feel, and what are the fundamentals that we need, like the posture, the mindfulness, and everything. So, so from the basic fundamentals to what we can do to achieve a mindfulness. So I guess it will help me uh, to continue with the things, uh, with the things, and I can have more understanding about Zen practice.
Thank you. Thank you, Radit.
I guess it's the philosophy, and yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your sharing. Shobha, would you like to share next? I mean, Shobha is facing some issue with the mic. Anybody else would like to go next? Shrikesh, would you like to share your experience of the 3-minute mindfulness practice? Because I know that you have been doing mindfulness for quite some time.
Sure. It's the mindfulness sessions are always very it's very calming. So I am part of the company's mindfulness networks, and the sessions that are conducted there also have the same effect on me. And your session, I see that Ajit has said that it's as good as always, and that's something that I also echo. The session was also really good. Every time I attend your session, there is always something that I am able to bring into my life consciously or sometimes subconsciously. So the sessions are really enriching, and thank you for running sessions like these, Anupam. I really appreciate it. I think we all do.
Thank you, Shrikesh. Any of our friends, Moto G 5S Plus or Rayansh Singh?
Hello, Anupam. This is Devishri.
Yeah, Devishri.
Yeah, first of all, thank you for the session. And this mindfulness thing, I'm doing it for the first time. Still, the main thing I liked about this is how to consciously bring back your mind from something like when you yeah, I was lost somewhere else in between. Then when it told to bring it back to the that particular thing, like to focus on the breathing, I consciously brought it back. So I think it will help me.
Yes.
Like,
Yes,
I was wandering somewhere.
I think wonderful. What you have also said is that a lot of times our mind will wander, and this is understood, and we have to just gently bring it back. And
Yeah,
in
yeah,
Zen practices, we call it training the puppy. Let's say you get a
yeah,
small dog, a small puppy in your house, and you want the puppy to sit in one corner, but every time the puppy runs away to another corner. So it's like a gentle, loving kindness to yourself first, and understanding that uh, it's about bringing that awareness back to the breathing, back to the present moment. Because if it is in past or in future, our life is getting missed in the present. Thank you so much for your sharing. I can also see Shobha typing on this where she's saying something. Shobha, there is I cannot pull up the screen on that message. If you would mind, if you can just go off mute and share your experience with the larger audience. Thank you.
Hello.
Yeah, Shobha, we can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I joined a bit late the session, but the half an hour session which I have taken, it was quite relaxing for me, especially the last 3 minutes of meditation which we have done. So thank you so much for taking such sessions, and I would like to join your session very often so that we can have such relaxing sessions and fruitful session often.
Thank you. Thank you, Shobha. So we will have the next session next Sunday, same time. But before we plan for that session and wrap up this call, I want to leave you with a small action plan and resources. So what is the action plan that emerges from this training? Action plan, what we say is a very simple one: stop, start, and continue. What are the actions I will stop that make me mindless and ineffective? So you need to just make a note of this, and it's like you can just pick up a diary and write what is it that stops you from being mindful or from being effective. Second is, what are the things that I will start to do to increase my awareness? And last but not the least, what are the actions I continue so that I focus on the present moment? So this is a simple stop, start, and continue action plan. And some of the resources that are there for more blogs on ZENLP and videos on that, you can go on the website and the blog Self Mastery Zone, and it's there on Instagram as well. There is a book which you can find, and as a token of appreciation to all the people who have joined, by the end of the second session, I will be sharing the PDF copy of that book. And there is this app called Headspace. I'm sure people who are already doing meditation, like Shrikesh, they are aware that this Headspace app is a wonderful resource, a wonderful guided meditation app where you can simply download, plug into a headphone. Anytime you're feeling a little bit stressed or a little bit discomfort or anything, and you feel that it's a good moment to take a mindful break, you can listen to these recordings, which are essentially guided meditation and which will help you. So friends, this is the end of today's session. I thank you all for your active participation and your mindful presence. It means a lot. And also the questions and the comments with which you have absorbed these learnings, they will be not only helpful for this group, but also to the larger community of learners who will be getting benefited from this video. So I just want to say that the next session we are going to do on next Sunday will be focused now on the second half, the NLP techniques. And this will be a wonderful session where we'll share 3 such techniques with you that will help you reprogram the negative beliefs or reprogram the things that stop you. So I look forward to you joining the second session, which is the final session in this series. And I would like to again thank you for your time and your effort and your undoubted love and support that you show to this Self Mastery Zone blog. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you all.
Thank you, Anupam. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Anupam.